distance nerding.
Hey! How is it? The mic was not turned on.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is already partially a shit show.
All good.
I know that nobody else knows what I mean by that, but it's mainly just because for me, I'm in a hotel room. I realize I don't have like a real camera setup going on, and it's just a mess in here. And I'm like, oh my God, this is shit. But we're here. We're ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the build. Whew. I am the dude who is, for some reason, just decided to go and hang out in Phoenix. By decided, I mean my work decided I was going to go to Phoenix. I'm your boy. Well, actually, I'm taking all the majesty away. Ladies and gentlemen, the man sitting next to me right here is the one who is attached to the sentient beard that is come to Earth to eat all of your souls. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Graveyard.
Yes, thank you very much. And as Phil says, the man, the myth, the guy in Phoenix, right? Right now. In a different time zone?
No, same time zone as the West Coast.
Oh, I just assumed California had its own time zone.
No, mainly because Phoenix doesn't do daylight savings.
Screw those farmers in Phoenix with their cactuses and cottonweed and
exactly, you know, and their desert.
Exactly, desert farming. What more could you ask for?
Exactly, that's all you want here. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the build. So this is going to be a little unconventional, just because I've had so many meetings this week. I have not had time to actually like parse out all the Lego for the week. So I am going to be like grab bagging everything because I just had to grab all my parts and I just didn't really separate anything. So see if we even get anything done, especially because our guest this week, I'm so interested in the stuff that he's doing right now. Graveyard, I know you got a chance to play, and we're not going to like talk too much about that until we get him on the stream. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun here. So, I
mean, spoilers. I almost didn't want to stop playing the game. Did you?
that actually says a lot about it. It does. It says a lot about that game. If you were like, you know what, I'm not going to do the show because I want to continue playing this game.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it says a lot about the game because there's not very much that'll pull you away unless you're like dying. That'll pull you
pretty much.
which is great. I'm also kind of stalling here for a second because I'm looking for something.
What are you looking for? Your pants?
No, my pants I'm not wearing right now at all. So I mean, you know,
Good.
I gave up on pants while I'm walking around the hotel room
and through the hallways getting ice.
I was just gonna say I gave up on pants walking around the hotel in general. Yeah,
it's Phoenix. It's a different state. The laws don't apply to you from California.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show. Actually, you know what? I didn't do. God, I'm so off.
It's almost like you need some energy. Do you know where you can get some energy?
Thank you for transitioning into where I was about to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by the good folks over at. Do I not have it here? I guess. Okay, the good folks over at W. I don't have it on the screen. I didn't upload the picture, I guess. God, I'm a mess, man. W is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. W contains no maltodextrin, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Find out more about W at www.w.gg. Use the code nerding10 and get 10% off your order. All right. Enough stalling, enough screwing up at this because, you know, one day I'll be a professional. It's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the immensely talented and super laid back Mike Seers. Oh.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Got off work and I'm
If you hear some clogged up shit in my nose, I'm sick as fuck right now. But aside from that, doing pretty good.
Man. So you know, it's been a little while since you've been on. Last time you were on, we were talking about your comics. And since then, we now have an extension of that universe. I mean, you already had extensions happening, but an extension of that universe. We brought you on specifically to talk about a video game that you have been working on that is a part of this same universe, along with the characters that you have going on. Why don't you give us a little bit more information about the amazingness that is the Outskirts Clown Man?
Well, I've been making games, or at least trying to like put together a game since like 2020. That was the first one that I did. It was actually a game on Rabbit Man. I was just going to do like a small adaptation of the comic at the time, but there really wasn't enough to go off of, so I just did it as, so I started making games as sort of like a side thing, and I made a couple like little bitty ones. But this one is more of an adaptation of that universe. Like, if you've read it and play it, you'll appreciate it just a little bit more.
Okay.
But it's more or less like adapting that whole universe, like now that I know how to write and stuff a bit better, into video games. And this one is sort of like the start, because going over Rabbit Man and stuff like that, there's a whole bunch of like plot holes and stuff that I was doing because this is cool. I'm gonna put it in there. But now I get a chance to like explain it. But I didn't just want to do like a remake of the comic, because I had tinkered with that. Because when I started with lesser known comics, the first thing I wanted to do was, I'm gonna do a remake of Rabbit Man, or like tell the story a bit better. But it just wasn't like coming together, and it kind of sucked, like, to be frank. So I just decided to like put everything else on the back burner and make it into a game, because this is the little clown man who is in Rabbit Man. He's redesigned a little bit from the way he is in the comic. And this is going to be the starting point for what I hope to be a game series. Because I've already got like the sequel, for anyone that's read my stuff, is going to be a Rabbit Man game. Like, because there are a couple out there. I wouldn't suggest playing them unless you're just curious, because I really had no idea what the fuck I was doing. But this one,
Rabbit Man curious. If you're rabbit curious, oh god, that sounds bad. That sounds really bad. Please don't be rabbit curious. If you're rabbit curious, just don't.
Yeah, please don't. That sounds awful.
It does.
The internet already has enough atrocities on it.
It's like there's just
What's one more? Come on. So the sequel is going to be Rabbit Man then?
Yes, because this is setting up all the characters. The clown character who you play as, and I don't want to spoil it, because right now what is out is pretty much, because it's not going to be a big game. It's going to be maybe altogether about 4 to 5 hours long. Okay. Because it's not that big. There's just sort of a lot of ins and outs to it. Like, every mission you can beat in at least 3 or 4 different ways. So a lot of the time you'll get out of it is from the replay value. But this is setting up the clown. It's setting up Dale and the cult, where the Rabbit Men came from, and stuff like that. But it's not so much in your face. I'm sort of cutting some stuff out, leaving some stuff on the cutting room floor. And since it's a whole new medium, like, and people aren't just going to read everything on the page, it's a lot more like interactive, and you can really get absorbed into the world.
Right.
I want to leave not a lot, but as much as I can up to player interpretation, because that's ultimately what decides what a story-driven game lives or dies, is the story, and if it's good. And most games that are story-driven that you hear people talk about, like to this day, even if it came out like 30 years ago, are ones that leave pretty much like 20 or 30, maybe 40% of the story up to interpretation because it keeps people talking about it.
Right.
Right. You can get people theorize about what is happening. And that's, theory videos are huge. And then, I'd love to see theory videos get created from this game, and then you kind of react to them as well. And just that whole chain that exists in this YouTube world.
Yeah. Like, no. Not happening.
Yeah. That's not right, but I'm not going to tell you what is either.
Yes, that's exactly what we want.
So how long have you been working on this game then? Since you said you started doing games in 2020, has this been in the works since 2020, or has this been just a newer rendition?
No. The story behind this one, or how long I've been working on it, is kind of all over the place. Because I did release a game. If you see on my itch.io page, there's a game called The Outskirts Classic. I released that one in January of 2023 because this whole idea was supposed to start with that one. It's a lot more cartoony and stuff like that. And the game that I'm making now started a little after, because that was around the time like lesser known comics actually started putting out my stuff. So I was like, oh fuck, I can't really worry about this right now. So I just went back to doing comics, and then I did Mouse Man and actually did a few other people's comics. But now that all that's kind of dried up, I wanted to go back to that one and make it what I wanted it to be. So it's kind of a remake of the last one, like as I wanted it to be, now that I know what I'm doing, while also being the springboard for the Mike Seer's universe.
Nice. Like I said, I was telling Phil, I was playing a little bit before
a lot of the assets and stuff. It, like this one in particular. So what do you think of it?
I didn't want to stop playing.
And I was telling him it's the kind of game that fits right up your alley. He's into RPGs. He's into sprite-based games. He's into hardcore into anything horror. So it's kind of like the entirety, everything about this game is like he should be streaming this right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like that's one thing I really like about doing anything, either like comics or games. Spooky stuff is a lot easier for me because I've always thought stuff that was weird often came across a lot more scary than someone trying to deliberately be scary. Because like a spooky monster trying to catch you, like that is unnerving, and you'll get like a primal fear out of people from it. But feeling like you walked into a world that's upside down and everyone, this is just normal for them, but you're like intruding on a bunch of fucked up shit that just kind of happens, is a lot more unnerving. Sort of like Nightmare on Elm Street versus Eraserhead. Like,
not really more up his alley right now, man. This is exactly. I guarantee you right now, Graveyard's mind is just tell me more.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, like that's what I really loved about it, because like any horror movie that's actually supposed to be spooky to me, or like to the public, where it's like this is the most terrifying movie ever, I've usually laughed at it more than anything. The only movies that ever have left me completely unnerved is stuff like Eraserhead or this one called Tetsuo the Iron Man. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah, I mean, who doesn't like giant robot mechanical penises?
Oh yeah, like it's just like weird because it's just like to the viewer, it's just like what the fuck is going on, but to everyone else, it's just like, oh, this is just Tuesday. Like it's just like unsettling as fuck. Versus like Freddy Krueger like saying one-liners, which still has its place. I still like that, but for a completely different reason.
Yeah, giant penises. You just sold the entire internet on that movie.
Exactly. So I mean, like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything with this, but I as a gamer, especially playing RPGs, retro stuff, I was looking in every nook and cranny to find any piece of lore, any piece of evidence, and even making sure that mice might owe me $3 if I beat them up well enough. So, I mean, you talk about like the weirdness, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like you talk about like stuff like that, like Videodrome by David Cronenberg. Guy just has mutated cancer arm and gun. Sure, why not?
Yeah. Like,
you want to talk about weird anything Cronenberg, man.
oh yeah, The Fly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just watched that for the first time about like a year ago, and I've seen the original one like from the 50s. But the one with David Cronenberg was like, ugh.
Jeff Goldblum just kind of like changes that entire perspective of that movie.
Yeah. Like, the original one I honestly thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because like
well, I think the Cronenberg one, the most unrealistic thing in the entire movie about teleportation is the fact that he had Brundle, he had a computer that he could just talk to and gave him answers in 1983.
In 1983.
Computer, how do I do this? Here you go. No. Like, I will take people being teleported and mutated into flies, but a computer in 1983 telling you exactly what you can do with AI prompts, not buying it.
Yeah, because AI does that now.
Poorly.
Yeah.
And no. I was going to say, spoiler alert, it still doesn't.
Yeah. Real quick, just off topic, but it's about AI. One thing that weirds me out, like real bad, my day job, I work at Hobby Lobby as a stockman right now. And as of, I'm going to say around like January or December of last year, they started replacing a lot of their paintings with ones that were AI generated. Like, obviously.
Huh.
Thank you, Hobby Lobby, for stealing artwork that like humans can do.
Yeah, and they're charging like $40 a pop.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you telling me the Christian-based Hobby Lobby is stealing?
No. They also have a thing for Indiana Jones too, if you know about that.
I mean, that I understand. Christians are going to have a hard on for Indiana Jones just because Indiana Jones tends to look into a lot of like Christian lore. But the thing is, a lot of Christians also do not look at the irony of kind of his scientific method behind everything.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant. I mean, the founders of Hobby Lobby fund people going into other people's countries and stealing their artifacts.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
they literally do that. There was a huge scandal about it, and they got sued for like $5 billion a couple of years ago.
They fund real cultural appropriation.
Where else are you supposed to get your ancient stone penises?
Oh, reference to the video game if you haven't played Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Oh, I haven't played that yet. I'm not an Xbox person.
It's so good. It is so good, man.
Oh, I've heard. Like, I honestly, like, Troy Baker, like, the guy who does the voice, like, he's, like, an amazing voice actor. Like, he literally, like, if you were to close your eyes and, like, turn around and just listen to the game being played, you'd think it was, like, a lost Indiana Jones movie.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I kept talking about it on the show, but then, like, I would critique it, and I just kept listening, and it's like, they should have done this for the last movie.
Yeah.
Instead of Harrison Ford, because like you have a young Harrison Ford, but he sounds like old Harrison Ford. Should have just had Troy Baker play Harrison Ford. He sounds like, down to the mannerisms and the speech delivery, he sounds like Indiana Jones. He sounds like Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's only been 3 Indiana Jones movies, and this game is the 4th movie. That's all that exists.
I do enjoy that this takes place between the first and the third movie.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
that's just
like Christian lore, like, you know, they dive deep into like the Nephilim and like giants, and stuff like that. The Ark, Noah's Ark. If again, not trying to spoil a lot for the game for anybody who wants to go and play it, but like, they get into all that stuff, and it's really cool.
And Dinosaur Bones and Noah's Ark, it's amazing.
My favorite piece, though, of all of it, again, the big collecting piece, the thing you have to collect all over the world, are giant stone penises.
Mm-hmm.
There's never enough of those, I think.
No, and last puzzle is just putting those penises in the holes. I mean, trying to figure out the puzzle.
That cracked me up when it was like, all right, solve the puzzle, solve for X, and it's just putting penises in holes. Like, oh my god, this is ridiculous.
What if we're just dumb and we see those as like artifacts when in fact that's just like an ancient dildo?
Oh, guarantee it.
I mean, there are people from like nowadays who think Achilles was a real person because of how those stories were wrote, which kind of makes me think like 1,000 years from now, are people going to think Captain America was real?
They might. See, my thing with people with like characters like Achilles is a lot of times, especially back then, the character may have actually been based on a person, but he wasn't the Achilles from the legend in any way.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I just want people in 1,000 years to think that Captain Planet is the hero.
I mean,
he's
people believe that now.
It's Ted Turner. So am I kind of getting back into your gaming? So with this being kind of like a text-based RPG, not full text-based, like all that gore stuff, but is the sequel Rabbitman going to be in the same style? Or is it going to be kind of different genre, if you can say?
No, I've got the next game, the Rabbitman game. I plan on making it first person.
Okay.
Like a first person shooter with RPG elements, but a little changed. I wanted to have the same ammo system that this game has, because I think it would be simpler and like neat. Because like with this one, you have guns and you've got ammo, but there's no different kinds of ammo for each gun. You get like different kinds of ammo, like flame rounds or armor piercing, but they're for all the weapons. And depending on the weapon, it dictates how much ammo you use.
Right.
Okay.
And so if it's like a pistol and you have 10 ammo, it'll use 1 from your ammo every time you fire it. But if it's a double barrel shotgun, it'll use 5. Like 5 and 5.
Right. Interesting. I could almost see it as like Friday the 13th on the NES. That you have the map that you go into, and then just like the 3D world that you have, like the way Doom looked or stuff like that.
Okay.
That is actually what I'm working like on. I don't want it to be like fucking Fallout. I want this to look like a boomer shooter or fucking System Shock.
Yes.
Is what I've got planned.
System Shock. That's a throwback right there. I love that.
Oh yeah, all the way back to Monday when I played it. Haha.
Did you play the remake?
Yeah,
because they remastered it and then they remade it.
I'm playing the remake because in June they have the remaster of 2. They're not remaking it. It's just gonna be a remaster for the 25th anniversary.
I don't think you could remake that game. Like System Shock 2 has to be experienced as is. I think. Because, like, the first one, people don't really talk about. Like, all of the cool, like, this happened and then this happened, that all comes from System Shock 2. So, like those are the games that I've been inspired from, like, for the next one. Because the one after I'm working on, like, right now, it's not going to be Rabbitman right away. Because, for one, the computer I'm making this game on kind of sucks. And I'm going to need a new one that can actually make something a bit bigger. But I'm actually going to do like an in-between story, and that's going to be Mouseman. And I've got an engine called the Raycasting Game Maker. It's not what Rabbitman is going to be made with, but this is going to be an adaptation of Mouseman, and it's going to be a little bit like Redneck Rampage, and it's going to be like a a short little bridge from this game to the Rabbit Man, because I never finished the Mouse Man comics because so much was going on. A whole bunch of bullshit. But spoilers for the comic book, Mouse Man is a prequel to Rabbit Man. And at the end, I had planned for him to go to a sperm bank and like donate. And then 1,000 years later, when the world has ended, they need DNA to save the world, like perfect, clean, not radiated human DNA, and that's Mouse Man. So basically, they saved the human race with the DNA of a crackhead. That was the joke. Basically, that I was leading up to. It's not going to be the same thing. I am going to bring Mouse Man more into the post-apocalyptic world instead of just in the 90s. It's just going to be a prequel to the game I'm working on now, but it's a bridge that sets up Rabbit Man, so you know what's going on from all corners, because it's still the Rabbit Man still come from his DNA. Because that's kind of why I wanted to go ahead and make this one a first-person shooter, because he's really good with guns and being a gunslinger, and since he's basically the father of all the Rabbit Men, it would explain why they are.
I like it.
So do I. I love the concept of that.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that play out.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if you ever do something like the NES Maker, you are able to make the game to work on the NES. I have the ability to put a ROM and put it onto an actual NES cartridge.
Oh, I have Game Boy Studio.
Ooh.
It's the same idea, but for the Game Boy.
Yeah, I have the ability to burn that to a cartridge too.
Ooh, yeah. Well, if that pans out, I'm gonna hit you up and see if we can't get some cartridges up.
Oh yeah, it's relatively easy. It really is. We can do it. You can sell on Etsy.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's actually a fantastic idea.
I love that you said relatively easy.
Well, I mean, you have to buy the boards, which that takes time to get, but it just takes a minute to upload it to your cartridge. It really does. That's how I do all my cartridge base. If it's cartridge base, I have the ability to burn a ROM to it repeatedly.
Oh shit!
For testing and everything.
With the Kickstarter that I've got for this game that I'm working on, I actually started talking with another guy. I'm actually planning, if the Kickstarter is a success, the Kickstarter is mainly to pay the actors and actresses that I'm working with, because this one's going to have voice acting. And with that, I actually tracked down Thesly Lerner, who was the nurse in the first Silent Hill game, and she's also going to help me with it.
Oh, wow.
So I've actually got a big name in it. The lady that's in it now, the first one you hear, that's a friend of mine who sells feet pics. And I've always been...
I was gonna say they could be. We can do a collaboration on our OnlyFans. We sell a lot of feet pics too.
Yeah, because I went to her I've been going to her with help for projects for ages. Thesly Lerner is going to be the first actual voice actor, producer, director I've worked with, because a lot of voice actors, even the cheap ones, cost an arm and a leg, even for the smallest thing. But my friend only charges about $50 for everything.
Oh, we know a voice act. We know voice artists that we can get you in contact with, don't we, Phil?
We do.
Yeah.
I'm still going to work with voice actors and stuff, but regardless of whatever project I work on, even if it's a multi-million-dollar project, I'm still going to find a way to slip her in there somewhere as sort of a way of saying thanks for helping when I had shit. That's a must. That if I ever get to the point where I have to sign contracts with people, is no, you put her in this, whatever or however. I don't care how.
That's good payback. Somebody been supporting you forever though.
Yeah, you gotta. It's sort of it's a thing,
Well, it's interesting. I don't know how many games you're planning, because you could do a different genre per character. Even I could see an amalgamation of you just having a classic clay fire style of all your characters and just beat them up or just a fighting
I would
tournament.
love to see, just specifically to see like Mouse Man in something like that, and his powers is just like throw a fucking needle at you or something.
Or he builds up his super and he just does some drugs.
Yeah, because the Mouse Man game isn't going to be an RPG at all. It's just going to be a straight up boomer shooter. It's just a straight up first person shooter. The thing I'm going to be making it with, Raycasting Game Maker, is a homebrew Russian first person shooter thing that is specifically for making games that function akin to Wolfenstein 3D.
Hey, you know what? If the Christian bookstores were able to make Super Noah's Ark off of Wolfenstein engine, you can do it. Because it was Wolfenstein, but with Noah's Ark instead. Because I know that much of that game. That's sad.
We're talking about about Mouse Man's powers and everything like that, and immediately all I can think of right now is Towley getting high. Right? Well, I gotta get high first. And then the music is Popeye the Sailor Man when he starts smoking.
Oh, speaking of Popeye the Sailor, I actually have a thing now that I didn't have before.
Oh, the anchor.
Yeah.
Nice.
I actually got a few. I've been getting tatted up.
That's good though.
Welcome to the club.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Can I get it in the? You can get parked there. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not tatted at all. I don't know what you guys are talking.
Yeah,
about.
he doesn't have two sleeves and
I don't have two sleeves. I have one sleeve. Thank you very much. I can't move that thing.
I'm trying to like turn it off.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Hide on stream.
Mm-hmm.
Hide it.
Mm-hmm. Phil's learning his new program.
Oh, I wonder what's going on.
Yeah, so are you gonna be able to drop these games when they're complete, like onto like the Switch store or Steam or anything?
Not with this one. Well, Steam definitely. It's coming to itch first because you have to pay $100 to put something on Steam, and the Kickstarter's not even over yet. So once this game is complete, like this one, considering it's not going to be that big, like I said, and most of the involvement or making it is going to just be like doing the missions and then giving you multiple choices throughout the mission, some Easter eggs here and there. It's going to come to Steam. The Outskirts Mouse Man is also going to go to Steam and itch. But Rabbit Man, considering I want that to be sort of like a magnum opus, that one I'm more than likely going to end up putting on everything. Like, there is a new RPG maker that, like the latest ones, I think it's called RPG Maker MV or MZ. There's literally a publish to Nintendo Switch button.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's also a plugin for it that makes it 3D. So the Outskirts Clown Man will be an RPG, Mouse Man will be a first-person shooter, and then Rabbit Man will be a first-person shooter with RPG elements.
Okay.
That's the plan. And yeah, as spoilers, this is how I take notes for my game. It's literally just Unabomber notes. But
Unabomber notes.
Yeah, it's like fucking Unabomber notes. But that's like the overall plan. But as far as like story, this one is kind of like the most complicated because I have nothing to go off of for the story. I'm just kind of making it up as I go and taking notes where I can because it's going to be the setup for Rabbit Man. But Mouse Man and Rabbit Man are going to be 10 times easy because I've already got a book like that thick full of story that I can go off of.
That's awesome though. Like I said, if you're down for it, I would like to stream, your games on my channel as well, just because it's everything I enjoy.
Oh, you can be my guest. You can get on there and stream it.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. I hit the wrong one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you even begin to do this. Like, I've wanted to create a game for a very, very long time, and the style of, especially, the Outskirts Clown Man is kind of something I want to do. Like, I want to do a comic with my co-host and I from our horror podcast entering the B movieverse. I would love to do something just like this, but with us entering the B movieverse as a video game and just 8-bit sprites everywhere.
Oh, that would be so cool. And then, dude, oh my god, the level of sentient beard that needs to happen in that game.
Oh, I think the health meter would be a beard.
No, but I mean, like, your power, like, you have to have like a power up where like the beard just takes over you, turn into fucking cousin It, and it just murders everything.
Exactly. Oh, so I mean, how long did it take to make the Outskirts overall, do you think?
Overall, about 3 years. Overall.
Yeah.
There's actually something I'm trying to pull up now, but it had multiple iterations on one of my flash drives. I have a whole bunch of different games, because game development, or what puts people off from it, is the art of unused ideas. You will have, like, the game you want to make will more than likely have half of the shit you wanted in it. Like, which is kind of why every indie game dev or game dev, like, any game you want to make, even if there's a lot to it or whatever, start small. Like, start with something that's 15 minutes long and then just go from there, because a lot of people will get into it and be like, I want to make the biggest, best game ever, the game I see in my head, and then they never finish it. But let's see. This one, right before I decided to say fuck it and just start making the Outskirts Clown Man remake. Is there any way that you guys can share your screen real quick, because I'm about to send you?
Yeah, no, I can share the screen. It's whatever you want to send me. Go for it.
Let's see. I'm sending it on Instagram. But this was what the game was supposed to be originally, but it actually turned into a comic book for the people that made this wonderful game where you heal with crack. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
I just sent it to you.
Oh my god.
Do I know it? I should know it.
You're gonna know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna know it. Give me a second. You've probably played it.
I played a lot.
Yeah, but it's a game that I know is on your, like, this game. If it's not on your list of games to play, it should be. I'm familiar with this game.
It's a fucking phenomenal game. I love it so much. I actually have the fourth one on PlayStation. It's fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
Fucking Postal.
Yeah.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
So hold on. Are you? Did you just basically made an RPG of Postal?
Yeah, I was in the process of making, because Postal and an RPG, it works together because you're literally doing tasks for people, and you can either do it nicely or kill people. So basically, the reason there's even a shovel that you can kill people with and get in the game that I have now. The reason that I got it done so quickly, because when I started on this one, like, it only took me 6 months to put it all together. I just had to redo the assets because it's built on the skeleton of a Postal RPG.
Okay.
Yeah,
How many countries did that game get banned in?
more than I can count.
I can guarantee you that's Australia for sure.
I remember that was like a big deal that Australia canceled, or not canceled, but banned it.
Australia just preemptively, bans games before they even come out at this point in time. I'm probably United Arab, probably China, probably some Scandinavian country usually bans something too like that. Probably Poland. Usually those are the big banners for stuff like that.
I think it did get banned, if I remember correctly.
But for all the viewing people, I just want to say that game will probably never happen. But I have been in talks with Vince Desi and Mike J, with a friend of mine, Ryan, on doing a Postal comic book. It's just that's kind of on the back burner now while I work on this. Once this is closer to completion, I'm going to take a break, get together some notes for the Mouse Man first-person shooter. I might do that as I'm doing this one, so maybe I can release them like a month apart, because the the Mouse Man game isn't going to take that long, because it's basically a Wolfenstein game, and those games literally take nothing to make. I just want to put a lot more into it as I learn the engine. But sometime in the middle of this year to the end, there will be word of a Postal comic book, because there's never been one. And me and my buddy Ryan were talking to him, and it would be fucking awesome to be the first one to do that.
And
I like it.
I feel like it works better as a comic book. You have less pushback. Like whereas in a video game, they're really weird about it. Comic books, especially like indie comics, you can get away with a lot more.
Yeah.
But I've read some fucked up indie comics.
But indie games, I mean, like if you look at Steam, there's just porn games galore that all you want. There's literally a guy, a couple of years ago, Forza and I for Christmas played some Christmas horror games that are just awful. Like you're working in a video store and have to clean up someone's shit in the toilet. That's the game.
That's terrible.
So, I mean, if those games can make it, I don't see why anything else can't go.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm excited. I almost love to see like a Final Fantasy style RPG too.
Of Postal? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Think more like Earthbound.
Oh my God, Earthbound, but it's Postal, so you're just like everyone dies.
Yeah. I mean, Earthbound, you literally go fight a dog as an enemy, right?
You fight an aborted fetus in that game, so
right.
Earthbound's got some weird shit, man.
Yeah. It's also had the scratch.
Yeah, like Earthbound is fucked up.
Yeah. Awesome. So when do you think the next game was going to be out then? When's Rabbitman the game going to come out then, do you think?
Maybe in a couple years, because I'll be releasing updates as I go, but Outskirts isn't that big. It's I have it pegged for late summer, around the beginning of August into July. That's when I hope to have that out. And Mouse Man will literally take less time than that, so I could probably end up releasing that alongside the Outskirts, because I just gotta make some textures and do some finagling with it. But that ain't gonna take nothing to make. So I'll probably be releasing Mouse Man and Clown Man this year in the next couple of months. But Rabbit Man, I will probably have like if I don't go with the new RPG Maker, and just use a plugin, which I might do because I know RPG Maker like inside and out. I have fiddled with the idea of moving to like Unity or Godot, but then I have to learn a whole new engine, and then it would put like I don't know about another year on top of the development time. So, but if I do an RPG Maker, then I already know what I'm doing, and it's going to come out way better. So I'll probably just stick with that. So I'm going to say around like 2027 is when I hope to have Rabbit Man out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So will you be having anything kind of line up then with your comics with the releases of these games, kind of like as companion pieces to them?
Oh yeah, like because this game doesn't have a comic, so I'm gonna release a few comics with it because that's gonna come with it. But Mouse Man, so if you buy it and you get the game, I'm gonna try to put at least the first couple of issues, or maybe the whole fucking graphic novel in the game, so you get a game and like a 95-page book.
Oh wow,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, because that expands on the lore too, because now you have, somebody who's picking up this game and they get to see what the background of the lore of that character is. So I like the idea of that.
Yeah. Because like I try to be fair in doing stuff, because I understand like I want to make money from this, but at the same time shit's tough right now and people are broke. So I want to make something that's gives you like a bang for your buck, but doesn't ask you for a lot of money. Because like when this game comes out all the way, I am going to charge money for it, but at most like $5.
See, what you do is you do the new model of Nintendo and PlayStation. For every system that comes out, you re-release it and charge full price again.
Oh yeah, like
that's if you're trying to get rich. And you're like, fuck the fans. Like, fuck the fans. I don't fucking care about the fans.
Speaking of, I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but Nintendo pisses me the fuck off. Like real bad. Like they talk about like, oh, like they treat games like it's a toy. Like this is a G.I. Joe action figure from the 80s. So obviously you're going to want the new one and fuck the old one. The new one's got so many more features. They don't really pay attention to the people that said like, oh, I grew up with this game and it's also a fun game. Like the way it looks has nothing to do with how fun it is. So people will pirate those games and then they sue them, they take them down, they try as hard as they can. You have to try to convince them for literal years to put at least a handful of those old games up on their current store. But still, they act all surprised and weird whenever people pirate their games when they would need to compete and make what they've got a better option than piracy, and they refuse to do that. It's the art of shooting yourself in the foot.
It's a power trip. Like the whole thing is they want to show that, hey, we have power. This is our stuff. We can do what we want with it.
Well, what they don't do anymore, which is what makes me angry, is they used to have the player's choice, right? That after it's been out for so long, it became a $20 game. The Switch system, a new game, is still $60 for something that's 7 years old at this point in time. Yeah. So they want to get rid of the gray market. That's never going to happen with those choices. But no. It's astonishing what they're able to do. But yeah, I mean, I am in the mindset of if I can no longer go to a store and buy your game because the system doesn't exist anymore to purchase, piracy's okay.
I don't agree with you, man. I mean, unless, like honestly, where Nintendo would make a killing, and pay attention, Nintendo of America, if they had and I think they do already, but like if they were to add it to it, but like if they had a game streaming service akin to Xbox Live,
they do.
No, what I'm saying is like, you pay $10 a month or make it an add-on, and you can download the entire library of all of their old games.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They would make a killing.
They have Nintendo Switch Online where it has different systems on there, but it's not every game because of the rights and them complaining about, like, the studios still want, like, oh, you're going to release Ninja Gaiden 3. Well, we need, the company to still make money off of that from your service. So they only do like first party games on their online system. So yeah, it's they did this the shop where it's $7 for like the same game that you had on the Super Nintendo. That's still stupidly expensive. Why don't they have, Sega Genesis has, here's 50 games in one game. Here you go. Boom, there's your cart. Why doesn't Nintendo do that? Here's 50 best 64 games. Put them onto a cart or cartridge, and do that, because they could sell that for $60 for sure.
Oh, definitely. Like, I am 27. I had a PlayStation 1. I skipped an entire generation, and when I was like 17, 18, I had a PlayStation 3. I am not nostalgic for any of those old games at all, but I still play them. A lot of people from my generation are playing them. There's like a ton of people right now that are like 17, 18 who are playing Quake and Doom and saying it's the best thing ever, because we're not just looking back on those games being like, oh, older was better. It's more along the lines of those old games, whether if I pirate them or buy them, they'll play, and they don't need a 10 gigabyte update, and they don't have microtransactions. They're a fun game that works, is still good to this day, but like all the like companies, except for like a handful, like id Software, they care and they'll remaster their games. But like so many other companies just don't. Like, Alice of Madness Returns?
Yep. Yes.
Or Alice.
Mm-hmm.
There was supposed to be a sequel to that called Alice Asylum, and EA canceled it before it even got off the ground. And I started looking into ways to buy the first one because I've never played it. And the only way you can get it is by going on Ubisoft's website and tricking the website into giving it to you. You have to like fuck with like the browser code or something, or pirate it. Like, there's so many like games and companies that own them where they just sit on them and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
On top of making sequels or just putting out new games that suck, or they're broken and they don't work.
Yeah,
exactly. Even Nintendo, the last Pokemon game sucked.
I mean, I may be sitting here and I'll be prepping for a recording of the new Atari 7800 Plus system that came out a couple months ago. Biggest complaint, doesn't take EverDrives. So, it kind of sucks. But no, I mean, like I said, I can see, like I said, your games going across multiple platforms, because there's still people that are releasing new Atari games. I have Halo for the Atari 2600.
Oh my God, I need you to stream that. I need to see that.
How the hell is that even going to work?
It's imagine like the worst graphics ever, but it's Halo.
That's why I'm saying I need to see it, is because like these Atari remakes, it's like it's absolutely terrible, but so interesting to watch.
Oh, it's a horrible game, but it's fun to see, and there's people releasing. And as our age group is being able to do this stuff, we are making new NES carts in 2025. And the homebrew community is alive to this day, and I love it. And you think companies would go, you know what? We are seeing more people make games for our systems. What if we re-release them on the original systems?
Yeah,
they can make money hand over fist again for the same game.
You know what game needs to be re-released, but as is, like maybe a graphics upgrade, but it really doesn't need it. Like, I would like to see them re-release Unreal Tournament. Because that's the thing, is a lot of people immediately think Unreal Tournament. Everybody knows the Unreal Engine. Everything is made on the Unreal Engine, but a lot of people don't know about Unreal Tournament. And again, everybody credits Halo for being like the first real multiplayer online game. No, Unreal was doing it way before Halo was.
Oh yeah. Unreal walked so Halo could run, and then trip and fall down the hill, rolling some shit, and then no one cares.
Yeah,
It definitely did trip and roll down the hill and do some and fall on some shit. But I mean, like, it's funny because there's game modes in Halo that all originated in Unreal. So like, snipers and rockets, that was an Unreal Tournament thing.
Well, I mean,
I've never played Halo.
I need slappers only.
Oh God, slappers only are so good.
But I'm old, so yeah.
I have never played Halo, and I have only ever played Call of Duty once.
Halo, if you ever get a chance, and I mean, like Halo now, you're able to play all the games because Microsoft has they've re-released all the games. And then they did an upgrade, like right before Infinite, upgrade for all the games too. So they
the Master Chief Collection.
Right, they remastered everything. Me and Wayne the Unknown went through and played all the games on stream.
It's a shame that Halo 3 still only takes like 4 hours to beat.
It's what's funny is going back and playing. So they updated the graphics, but the controls were still the same. Right, and just you realize how much everything speeds up, how much faster every game gets, like just in general. And when you go back and play Halo 1, just how fucking slow that game was, right? Because like there's no sprint, so like you're running all the time, but you have to run long distances, and there's no sprint, so it just takes forever to move anywhere. And there's no ADSing, so like now we're used to aim down sight, but like and that's because of CS. But I mean, like we're used to aim down sight now, but back then there was no aim down sight. Everything was hip fire.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's interesting to like go back and play a game that is considered like one of the pioneers in like like updating the style of shooters, and just seeing how out of date that game was.
Well, as you know, I do retro stuff a lot, so I never lost track of those games.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just another day. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mix up between retro and new, casual, hardcore, everything in between. So that's what I still look at every system that is literally to my left over here. It's all capable of going to my PC and streaming from. So,
you ever play Dusk?
What was that for?
It's pretty much for everything now. It's on PC. I have it on PC, but it's on PlayStation 4, 5, Switch. It's essentially a throwback shooter, like Quake.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it came out a couple of years ago. Interesting. Yeah. It's Lovecraftian in Pennsylvania. Ooh.
Lovecraftian in Pennsylvania. That sounds right up your alley, sir.
It really does. I think they're just fighting over who has the better cheesesteak.
Spoilers, it's fucking Geno's, all right?
Oh, man.
I just pissed off like everybody in Philly right now.
You did. The real question, what kind of cheese?
Okay. I'll tell you what I prefer, but I'll tell you the right answer as well. Right answer is Cheese Whiz.
Correct.
That's correct. What I prefer is White American.
Oh,
there's something about the creaminess in White American on a cheesesteak that is just good. It's not stiff like like Monterey is or something like that, but it's got like kind of a creamy consistency, especially like with the way you mix it with the meat. my issue with Cheese Whiz, as good as it is, you know, in the mood, is it's just messy as fuck. Woo! Woo!
Wow.
Say just offended all of Philadelphia right there. He said Geno's and Pat's are trash.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's just coming for everyone.
Yeah, he just offended all of Philadelphia right there.
He did. You know those Eagles fans, they will destroy their city even when they win. They're coming for you, say Wong. No, I think when I make cheesesteak at home, I have both, but what I do is I mix the cheese whiz and melt it down with the steak, so it becomes almost a sauce.
Yeah, and but that's what I like about White American on cheesesteak is that you know you'll if you throw it on the grill, so like you know you put the steak on the grill. By the way, best steak for a cheesesteak is ribeye, because there are places that like I've seen places that try to cut corners and use steakums and shit. No, fucking ribeye, thin cut ribeye. And then you throw White American on top of that, and then mix it with the onions and the peppers. The other thing is, I guess, and this is all by preference, right? Do you prefer? Well, first of all, do you like onions and peppers? If you do,
yeah.
If you do like onions and peppers on your cheesesteak, do you prefer peppers on top of it or peppers mixed in with the rest of it?
Oh, everything's going into that meat juice.
Yeah, I like it mixed in, so I would prefer it rather than just. Because some people like the crispness of the peppers, right? I prefer it like sautéed in with everything else because the flavor mixes together.
Oh yeah, like I said, I will mix cheese whiz, White American, all that stuff into my meat, and then make that essentially a Midwestern salad.
Yeah.
Sandwich.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the food part of the show.
We always had the food part, right?
No, we have always had the food part. It's been a while since we've actually like nerded out on food like that, though.
Yeah, I mean,
you ever been to New Orleans?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever had any of the food there, like crawfish?
Yeah, absolutely.
I live in Colorado now, and there's a couple places out here that are Cajun, but I've never been to any of them except one. And it was a place in Denver called like New Orleans Cooking or something like that. And it was the most disgusting shit. It was an atrocity. It was a sin. Like whenever you eat New Orleans food, no matter what it is, like chicken, seafood, whatever, it's gotta be red with fucking seasoning. It's gotta be like the gas station food there tastes better than a 5-star meal. And this stuff up here, they have no fucking clue how to do it. And it's just sad. Part
of the issue is that you're always going to have people who remake things and they're like, not Cajun themselves, but are like, I know how to make Cajun food. Like if it's not fucking, if something blackened isn't fucking black with the seasoning, you're doing it wrong.
Well, I make gumbo. It takes me 6 hours to make the gumbo. Because I do it right.
Show you right.
Because, like I said, I get 2 or 3 pounds of andouille sausage, cook that, all that seasoning then goes with the chicken. Cook the chicken in that fat and seasoning, and then make the roux with that to thicken it, and let simmer for 5 hours.
You've been hanging around with black folk, man. Like that, you over here learning secrets of the trade.
That's how I make my gumbo. So there's
really no other way to make it.
Yeah, I also do chicken po' boys, and I do the red onion remoulade with it. So I know how to make those two things really, really well.
I know how to make those two things really, really well.
Well, I'm saying of Cajun food.
No, I'm making a joke. I was just gonna be like, know how to make those two things really well. Everything else, fucking trash.
Yeah, I mean, I do have my own gumbo pot.
Oh man.
It's when I tell people I'm making gumbo, like everyone's like, we want some. So I have like maybe a 10-gallon pot for gumbo.
So I got to ask you a question. Do you turn into Gambit when you start making your gumbo?
I do. Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself.
Name myself right here.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh, it's so good, man.
It is.
They just announced that he's playing Gambit in Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that had the biggest pop out of everything that they announced. Was like, all right, everybody's excited about everything that's going on, and then they show Channing Tatum's name, and fucking like everything erupted.
And then people were booing when they saw U.S. agent's name, so it's okay.
Which means that our prediction that he was going to die in Thunderbolts is probably not happening.
I believe that's your prediction.
So once again, our prediction.
I mean, my prediction of Red Guardian's not true anymore because his name was on there too.
His name's on there.
So,
what do you personally think of Robert Downey Jr. appearing? Do you think this isn't going to be Victor Von Doom, but in a different universe, Tony Stark was like Victor Von Doom, and then he went crazy, henceforth, like the Iron Man mask and stuff like that? Because I don't really see any other reason for them to be bringing in Robert Downey Jr. There was a number of other people that could have very easily played Dr. Doom.
So in the comics, there is a version of Dr. Doom that where Tony Stark became Victor Von Doom. So our prediction has been that they're going to play that version of Tony Stark, but it's going to lead into, since they're doing multiverse, it's going to lead into we're going to get the actual Victor Von Doom, and I think that they're just not announcing who's playing Victor Von Doom because that's like the one like secret they're going to hold on to.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like I said, there is a version of Doctor Doom that is Tony Stark.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. He is going to be a Tony Stark variant. That was just, it's entirely possible that his parents died earlier, and he got adopted and became Victor Von Doom.
Now, also, they're saying, so we reported on this on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
There's a rumor that the way that Doom catches the Avengers off guard is he plays on the fact that he looks like Tony Stark, and he lowers everybody's guard because they think it's Tony, and he just plays off of that. So that would mean.
So you think he'll be impersonating Tony Stark?
Right. That's the whole thing. Is they're saying that it is going to be Victor Von Doom. It's just going to be a different variant of Victor Von Doom, but it is going to be Doom, and he is intentionally going to trick the Avengers into thinking that he is their Tony Stark.
Oh,
not all the Avengers. Clearly, he can't trick Hawkeye or Bruce Banner because they're not in this movie.
But I mean, I like the idea of like them doing a variant that's like that. Now, again, I'm holding out. I still think Cillian Murphy is going to be. Cillian Murphy is the best option for Victor Von Doom.
Okay, I not to be that guy, but can we stop casting people that are 48 plus in the starting roles in the MCU? Can we get people in their 20s so they can play them a little bit longer?
But see, that's the thing is I don't really feel like that's something that needs to be like. I don't feel like that's problematic. Like Victor Von Doom needs to be a little bit older.
He needs to be the same age as Reed Richards. They went to college together.
Yeah, but they're all like the two of them are also the same, but around the same age.
I'm saying we didn't need the internet daddy to be Mr. Fantastic.
I'm okay with internet daddy being Mr. Fantastic. I'm sorry, he's fucking daddy. Okay.
Good old Reed, any size you want it to be, Baby Richards.
Is Victor Von Doom the reason Thor was crying holding Deadpool?
Yes.
I mean, maybe, or Deadpool is the one that gets Loki from the tree and dies in the process.
So Ryan Reynolds like spilled the tea on that and said that they wrote that scene as a swerve, like it's meant to be a swerve. He said there's literally no backstory to that scene. There's
Not yet
to it. He was saying like, you know, they wanted to create buzz to the point where people were like, "Oh my god, I want to know what happened." And he's like, "Nope, nothing happened." He's like, "We're at the point now where it's like, okay, well now everybody wants to know what happened," and he's like, he was saying that he was talking to Feige about it, and Feige was like, "I like the idea. I like it better. You know, making it that like literally nothing happens."
I mean, that has been phase 4 and 5 of the MCU.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I love that Feige was like, I love this joke, and we should just leave it like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I need to catch up on my Marvel stuff.
You do.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything since She-Hulk.
It's all on Disney Plus.
That it is. That it is.
I keep forgetting that thing. Like, I've been so busy doing stuff. Like, I've become one of those weirdos that don't watch TV.
That's okay. That's okay.
100% is not a problem. It's not problematic at all.
No. Still Wong's asking, is Ian McKellen going to play Wanda's dad?
No. I would love that. Because Ian McKellen, they did say that Ian McKellen is coming back. So,
but according to the current comics, and they're taking stuff from 2015 on, that's not her dad.
Yeah, after after House of M.
Yeah,
they officially made it to where he wasn't her father anymore.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Really?
Yeah. So at the end of House of M, basically the big like reveal was that they when she said no more mutants, it was supposed to nullify any like family members that she had to her, and I think Pietro died and Magneto was still alive, or was it the opposite?
I think that was it.
Yeah, like Pietro died because he was a mutant, and Magneto. No, it was the opposite. It was Magneto died, and Scarlet Witch and Pietro survived.
And
the explanation was that they were Inhumans and they weren't mutants.
Yeah. Interesting. But no,
okay.
Ian McKellen, Kelsey Grammer, and all those people are there to witness the death of their universe. This is them killing the X-Men universe.
Yeah, it's all transitioning for them.
Yeah. And it's very possible it's where that universe that we saw Monica in is that X-Men universe.
Yeah.
So, because she'll come, she's not listed, but she'll
ever
probably
read
go
the
there.
thing from the late 90s in Marvel about Onslaught?
Mm-hmm.
We know a lot about Onslaught. So whatever.
Wasn't there a specific story where like Onslaught, a mixture of Onslaught and Magneto or something, killed the universe, and then Reed Richards' kid made another universe, and they rebooted Marvel?
We were talking about that. We were actually talking about Franklin Richards and kind of like the implications of what you can do with Franklin Richards. Because our belief right now is that Franklin is where everything takes place in Fantastic Four is right around the time that Franklin's born.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, didn't Franklin also become Galactus?
There's weird stories within Marvel about stuff like that. So, like, yeah, there's one story where he becomes Galactus. like ultimately Franklin becomes an Omega level character and like destroys the entire universe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when he gets to that point, that's where Iron Lad gets involved, because Iron Lad is a descendant of Franklin Richards.
Yep.
Iron Lad is also a variant of King the Conqueror.
Yes, he is.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize this is where I was kind of pissed off with like kind of where they're going with King, but King the Conqueror is a descendant of Reed Richards.
Yep.
He's like his great grandson.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like what, 300 years?
Yeah.
Still not far enough for Cyclops to send his kid.
No.
I mean, you know, is it X-Men if Cyclops isn't abandoning his children?
No, it's not.
One thing I was gonna say, I forgot when we were talking about like casting and who should play who.
Mhm.
This is probably old hat, but I firmly believe it. Even now, I think that there should be a Plastic Man movie starring Jim Carrey as Plastic Man.
Oh, I would love that. Jim Carrey as Plastic Man is fucking genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely agree. I for sure. That'd be awesome. I said Phil knows what I want Secret Wars to be. Is I want each variation of people that have been Captain America or have taken the Super Soldier Serum to lead a team in Battle World. That way, you know, Isaiah Bradley can be there and leading a team and
That sounds
get
fucking
his
awesome.
Yeah. And his grandson has to be there as well.
Question. So
Uh-huh.
because we know at some point we're getting into Young Avengers, right? But like, do you think we see his grandson finally come in as Patriot?
And in Battle World, yes, I think Young Avengers is going to be there, and I think he's going to be the leader. He's essentially what's going to happen is, you know, he should be getting that blood transfusion or cut, whatever, how he gets it from Isaiah, and then he is going to be the leader of the Young Avengers as their Captain America.
Yeah, I really hope that they stick with that origin story.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, you know, he gets in a car accident and Isaiah gives him a blood transfusion, and that gives him his powers.
Or we can just go She-Hulk way, and then he just gets a scratch and they touch wounds together. Yeah, same thing.
But the thing, I didn't completely hate that origin, because like I was at first kind of like, okay, I hope they give Jennifer her origin story, but then like if you really look into the story and everything like that, it's kind of like it's not necessarily misogynistic, but it's like it's kind of a like a damsel in distress situation.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they rewrote it, rather than it being damsel in distress, where like, you know, she gets attacked and then Bruce gives her a blood transfusion, like, you know, she gets in a car accident, his blood kind of like mixes with hers in the accident, which, I mean, that's not unheard of. That's not something that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And it gives her powers. Like I feel like it made her more of a compelling character.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, with what we can do with the Young Avengers, I think we need to have a classic person in anything. Like I said, we need a Captain America leading each individual team, going against Captain Hydra. Steve Rogers coming back as Captain Hydra.
Right.
And what I think will happen is that we're going to get a Hulk on every team.
Okay.
So we're going to have the West Coast Avengers with
As
White Vision being there, of course. And that we're going to have, I think we'll probably, you know, Hulkling will be, Scar will be in the Young Avengers. I think Red Hulk is going to be on the Thunderbolts team.
Okay.
And I can easily see Abomination coming back on the Hydra team.
On the Hydra team, yeah. See, this is the level of nerd we are. fucking a bunch of comic nerds, man. Like, we're pulling everything out of the comics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, I think that's the way it needs to go.
I don't disagree. I like the idea of you kind of giving more shine for Hulkling.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing with Hulkling though is that we got kind of like a half-ass introduction.
Yep.
To Hulkling in She-Hulk. Like, that story needs to get told, and like, whether it involves a full-on Planet Hulk or not, because we got a partial Planet Hulk in
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But I know they've been talking about like doing World War Hulk, so it's kind of like I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, and then we said we need a Captain America in each team, we need a Hulk in each team, we need an assassin, whether it's a Hawkeye variant or anything like that. We're going to have different Wasp and people across different teams, and then I think we're going to have, essentially a cosmic person on every team as well. So I think Miss Marvel would kind of be the cosmic side. We're going to have Captain Marvel as well. And then we're going to have, Monica Rambeau come in. We're probably going to have Binary come in.
Mm-hmm. So
Thor's going to be a cosmic one as well. We'll probably get Beta Ray Bill as the other cosmic
Beta Ray
one.
Bill. Yes. Because we've got the tease for Beta Ray Bill. I need a full-on Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, so I think that we'll have the core Avengers team of those 6 character archetypes and filled in by different people we've had throughout the time period of it. That's my thing. I think
awesome.
I think, Phil, one Friday night fun night we should do is building our Avengers teams for Battle World.
Yeah, that would be cool. But again, it has to be characters that are already established in the MCU, or characters that can be introduced that don't need a lot of explanation.
Correct.
Because my only issue with, as much as I love Beta Ray Bill, he'd be kind of hard to explain. You kind of need to like ease him into the MCU.
Hammer Goat.
James says we're getting no Hammer Goat.
I mean, that's Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I thought he was a horse.
Yeah, I mean, he can go either way.
Horse, goat, same thing. Tastes good. No, I think we should do that. I think we should talk to the rest of our team and do, not tomorrow night, but relatively soon, our perfect Secret Wars team.
I like that. Speaking of stuff with the team and everything like that, actually, time is it right now? We got about 30 minutes left on the show. So Mike, before we get into some of the bracket that we have,
Okay.
one more time, please give us any pluggables you have, anything you want to push. I didn't put the Kickstarter, but I did put the link for the game.
Okay.
Right there. So pull that up right here. So there's the link for the game. That is in the chat. I know I can pin it. Yeah, it's already pinned. So it's pinned on the channel right now.
Aside from that, because that's sort of like the thing I'm working on now, what you guys can check out as far as the stuff that I'm doing or have done on Amazon, you can get Rabbitman 1 through 7, or you can get Rabbitman, the complete Rabbitman on Lulu.com, which is a 315-page graphic novel that's like this big, and it's landscape. It looks fucking awesome. You can see a picture of that like on the top of my Instagram. There is also Mouse Man, the Apathetic Mouse Man. That's also on Amazon. And
such a good book.
There's also another comic I did called Joe the Janitor. That's also on Amazon, and I think it's also on what is it? Indie Planet. But aside from comic books, that's pretty much all that I have right now out that you can get. But in the next couple of weeks, I am going to be releasing a new comic. It's going to be, I think it's called Mike Seer's Big Book of Comics, over 10 years of weird comic books, and all the stuff that either got published poorly when I was like 16 or 17 is going to be put together in a readable way in a big fucking, like, also 300-page book.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. But aside from that, that's pretty much all that I'm working on. But above all else, go check out that game and show it some love on Kickstarter if you want.
Absolutely. Again, guys, we've got the Kickstarter on the screen right now. Oh, we've got the itch.
Yeah, you can get to the Kickstarter from there. It's at the top.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Graveyard, I'm sure you'll announce it at some point, but I'm sure he's at this point now that we've got the blessing. He'll probably play it on stream.
Oh, I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to. I have 2 more weeks before I start my new job, so it'll be in those 2 weeks.
Yeah, I text him before the show. I was like, "Have you played the game yet?" He goes, "Dude, I can't put it down."
I want to know
just
more.
wait till it's out.
And that's a good sign, man. I was telling him, I was like, that's a good sign that you don't want to put the game down.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So yeah, man. Feel free to hang out if you want to hang out. We're gonna do some bracket here, and just kind of talk about what what characters we have going on. Not characters, but what we got going on for our bracket here. So. What do you got, Graveyard?
Oh, we're diving into the video game bracket.
Oh, that's right.
The video game system bracket for voting what is the best system of all time. So, Mike, if you want to join up. So, last time we determined that the NES was better than the Atari 7800 somehow. No, I'm kidding.
Somehow the NES has more.
I know.
More cultural relevance, I would say.
That the PS4/PS5 beat out the Xbox One X and Series X. That the Wii U was better than ColecoVision. Somehow the Wii U made it forward. So
what the fuck is that?
The Wii U?
No, ColecoVision.
Oh man.
It was what the original Donkey Kong was on in 1980.
Oh, it sounds like a variation of Cataracts.
Pretty much.
He's got ColecoVision.
Exactly.
He's got ColecoVision.
All right, so we're going to start off with a hard one right off the bat.
Okay.
I told you guys this is coming. The PS2 versus the Nintendo GameCube.
Oh man, that is a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
That's like painfully hard.
I'm gonna say GameCube because the stuff on the PlayStation 2 is easier to pirate, and you can't really pirate anything on the GameCube. And the GameCube has a lot of phenomenal games like Eternal Darkness, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Sunshine. It's got I actually think it has the better version of Ape Escape 2 and 3.
Oh man, you brought back a good one. Ape Escape was a good game.
By the way, you can pirate GameCube games. You can buy those mini discs and you can burn them.
Well, I know that. I just didn't want to say it out loud because Nintendo might be watching.
No, they won't be.
Okay. I actually got a copy of Silent Hill 2. I pirated it. And I got the enhanced edition, so I was able to play Silent Hill 2 for the first time a couple months back.
Nice. Okay, so my
mastered one on stream.
I did. So for me, all right. So as I was that age when the PlayStation 2 and GameCube and Xbox OG came out at about the same time, I was at the age where I was going, Nintendo is for kids. So then the GameCube was the last of those 3 systems I got. It took me a very long time to get a GameCube. So I don't really have any fond memories of it. I think it has arguably the worst Mario game. I think it has the worst Donkey Kong game. I think it has the worst Star Fox game. I think it has the worst Zelda game, honestly, as well. All personal opinions. Smash Brothers Melee, yeah, that's for sure. But, say on PlayStation 2 gave us, Uncharted, God of War.
Yeah.
Stuff that is hugely relevant in today's world. Lots of franchises began on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, so literally the games that you're mentioning right now are the reason I lean PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's I think the last time I had a PlayStation was PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
But like all those games, Uncharted, God of War.
Oh, apparently it was PlayStation 3 was Uncharted. Okay. So Ratchet and Clank, Silent Hill 2, Resident Evil 4, Final Fantasy X, Okami, Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, Okami. I forgot about Okami.
Yeah.
Okami is another good game, man.
The Grand Theft Auto.
Between those two consoles, yeah, because I had Grand Theft Auto 3 on or no, well, we're talking about the original Grand Theft Auto games though, right?
I'm talking about the ones that we now know today.
Okay, so you're talking
PS2.
about Grand Theft Auto 3. I think PS1 was
the original,
was the top-down games, and I remember those were the games I got into. Were the top-down games.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you guys remember, this is more a fun fact. If you didn't know this about Grand Theft Auto 3, if you change the camera angles enough times, you could put it in top-down mode, and you could play the original game. You could play that. You could play Grand Theft Auto, like the Grand Theft Auto 3, but like in the style of the original game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so say along. I know you're talking about like Smash Brothers, but and this is kind of my opinion is that you have the first party games for the GameCube, and that's it. While you have so many franchises and huge games in PS2, Bully,
Oh, Bully's another good game. Oh my God, Bully was so good.
Shadow of the Colossus,
which now they're talking about remastering Bully, but they're also talking about a sequel. So,
yeah. So I think PS2 has a better variety and catalog of games overall. So that's why I'm going PS2.
Yeah, no, I'm going PS2 for sure.
You ever play Manhunt?
Yes.
Yep.
Another
I'm
game.
actually going to play some of that.
I was going to say another game that got banned in multiple countries.
Mm-hmm. Bully did too.
Huh?
Bully did as well.
But see, well, Bully had its controversies, but like the controversies that had that Manhunt, like to this day, it's hard to find that game.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It's on Steam.
Is it on Steam now?
That's what I'm gonna. I have it on Steam. You have to mod it to get it playable, so you can play it with a controller and get it like functioning. Because Rockstar doesn't give a fuck about it. They just threw it up on Steam, ripped directly from the PlayStation 2 disc. Wow. So you got to mod the shit. There's a mod called the Fan Patch or something, and you got to throw that in there, and it works perfectly fine. It's functional, and I've been playing it, and it is janky as hell. Like, but it's still a good game. Like, I like stealth games like Thief and all that, and it is like Thief but edgier.
Yeah, I had a friend in high school that bought it when it came out. Obviously his mom didn't know what it was. Right. But like, yeah, no, we played the living shit out of that game. It was so good.
Yeah. Say Wong, I just gotta say 2 words to you you haven't voted yet. Kingdom Hearts.
See where he goes.
That was PlayStation 2.
That may not be something that sways him though.
It's an RPG.
I've never played Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts is so good, man. Basically think Final Fantasy, but with Disney characters.
Well, also Final Fantasy characters.
That's true. Sephiroth is in it.
Yeah. All right.
I've heard people talk about it, but I've just never played it. I'm sure it's good. I have a PlayStation 4. I need to get it.
Yeah, my wife absolutely loves Kingdom Hearts. All right, well, PS2 is moving forward. Say, well, I'm giving it over for PS2. All right, this one's going to be another tough one. You ready?
Yep. Throw it at me.
The Atari 5200 versus the Nintendo 64.
Ooh.
What the fuck's the Atari 50? Do you mean like the Atari Jaguar?
No, there was the 2600, then there's the 5200, then the 7800. This is all late 70s, early 80s.
I'm gonna say Nintendo 64.
Yeah, the 5200 kind of like changed the game, so to speak. Because updated graphics, everything was just kind of like pushing. But then the 64, I think I have a lot more memories for the 64.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mario 64, Mario Kart 64. You know, like there's so many games that I have like amazing memories with. I think I go with the 64.
Yeah, I remember renting the 64 because my parents would not let me use my own money to buy it. And I remember my buddy just destroying me in Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. So 64 came out, and I literally spent hours or days on Mario Kart 64 finding every glitch and secret and shortcut in that game.
What was the match type that they came out with in that one with the balloons?
Yeah, the Battlegrounds.
That like nonstop. That was the game type that we played.
Yeah,
because it was just like popping everybody's balloons and just like pissing people off and using getting the round the like the shell protector thing.
Yeah,
just, like running up to people and just like popping their balloons by just driving next to them.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
James says he'll destroy me in Mario Kart. James, I can do Frape Snowland in 23 seconds. I'm just saying.
He just called you the fuck out, bro.
Yes, when Game Crazy and stuff like that was doing tournaments for the 64, I entered 3 tournaments all the time: Smash Brothers, GoldenEye, and Mario Kart. Because I learned every spawn in GoldenEye where you have proximity mines, you throw it in there, you kill them once, game over. They just keep blowing up until they die.
By the way, I'm finishing this tonight. I didn't think I was going to, but
nice. James says he doesn't know what that means, but I say bullcrap. All right, James, I will record a video for me beating Frape Snowland. You will be amazed how quick I can beat that. I agree with Sailong. The virtual pro wrestling games are the best wrestling games today. Yeah, the 64 had the best wrestling games as long as it wasn't ECW or WWF Attitude, because those games were awful. All right, so 64 moves on.
Don't forget about Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Conker's Bad Fur Day, yes.
Yes. In my stream, one of my subscribers goes, "Hey, do you want to play Donkey Kong 64?" And I said, no. But he's like, "Are you sure they patched it so it's better?" I go, "I picked it up in 1998. I put it in there, didn't know what I was doing. I never played it since." But now I'm playing it, and it's not good.
It just reminds you why you hated that game.
Yeah. It's like Rare. It's like Rare trying to be Mario 64, but before Conker's Bad Fur Day. So
Conker's Bad Fur Day was a fucking masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
And then when they re-released it and basically you could play this, they re-released it when the first remake of Call of Duty came out.
Mm-hmm.
And they added a multiplayer mode, and it's basically a spoof of Call of Duty. And I was like, yep, no, they win.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is so good.
Oh yeah. All right. Next one's gonna be a difficult one as well. Intellivision versus PS1.
PS1.
I want to see if anyone says Intellivision.
I don't think
they will
say the Intellivision, dude.
Isn't that the thing where you put like the sticker on the TV screen or something like that?
Yes, that is one of them. You can do that. The Odyssey was the biggest one for that. Intellivision was kind of like ColecoVision. They were competitors as well. So, but yeah, I threw Intellivision. I said I have the EverDrive for it, so I can play all fantastic games on there, like Berserk, and that's it. That's good.
You can play all games on it, like Berserk, and there's no other games. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So chat, let us know. You had ColecoVision, James? Yeah, when I opened up my ColecoVision that I had in box, it had never been taken out of the box, and the Donkey Kong had never been played. I did not record the video, and I should have when I did that. It felt wrong, but so right. PS1 says day long. Yeah, PS1 for sure. It's. I mean, Nintendo shot themselves in the foot, and they created PlayStation. So.
Yep. They fucking ran around like a fucking chicken with its head cut off. They did not know how to react to that.
No. The history was, for anyone doesn't know, is they are working with Sony to make a disc for add-on, and they're going to go with that, and it's going to be called the Nintendo PlayStation. And Nintendo goes, you know what? Nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to do these cartridges. And Sony goes, what do we do with this system that we have? Oh, let's make it ourselves.
Yeah. PlayStation's marketing around that was genius. The dude they hired to play what's his name? Why am I forgetting his name? Crash Bandicoot.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that they hired to play Crash, like going to Nintendo headquarters and going to Sega headquarters and just
shouting through a megaphone.
Oh my god, it was so good. That marketing campaign was perfect.
Yes, Sega was correct. The day third party died in the Nintendo console. Yeah, and they lost Final Fantasy because of it too. So
I finished the Maurader.
Ooh.
Oh shit, it's wonderful.
Right. It opens up right here. And you have like your cockpit right here. You've got a storage bay in the back, little wanted poster and everything like that. And so basically you can, I didn't bring them with me just because I was like, I don't need to bring the characters with me, but you can basically put the entire Bad Batch in the ship.
Okay. Nice.
So it's the Maurader. It's for those of you who don't know, it is a modified Imperial shuttle.
Nice.
Okay. That looks fucking sick as fuck.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Phil.
I didn't think I was going to finish it, especially because I didn't have anything organized.
Now you know the power of you.
I know, and now I'm going to go sell it.
All right, so no surprise, PS1's moving forward. All right, this one might be a tough one. Really, actually, a tough one. Xbox 360 versus the Nintendo Wii.
Xbox 360 versus the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
I never had a 360, but I had a PlayStation 3 and played a lot of games that also came out on the 360. So is it cool if I go with 360 because those games are fun? And
yeah.
But I played them on PlayStation 3.
Yeah, because you couldn't play those games on the Wii, so yeah, it counts.
Right.
Okay, so Xbox.
The thing about that is the PS3, the Xbox 360, and the Wii all came out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the big argument was because at the same time, all three consoles had decided we are going to do interactivity, right? So
Yep.
the Wii had the Wiimotes. That's when Xbox came out with the Kinect, and then PlayStation had those fucking
the Move.
The Move. That's right. They had
Yep.
they had the Wii wannabe thing.
Yep.
And I remember the only thing I cared about for PS3 was they came out with the new SOCOM, and you could put those Move controllers in an actual gun, and you could like play the game that way. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever, just because at the time it was a console exclusive, so you had to, if you wanted to play SOCOM, had to play it on PlayStation. Kinect had a lot of fun games on it for the concept that as it wasn't like the greatest launch, and we did all of that like well, right? Now, with all that being said, the games on the 360 were way more fun, so I played fucking 360. I go 360. What did Taewon say? One was impossible to find on release, and one had the Red Ring of Death. Okay, the Red Ring of Death did not happen as often as people tried to make it seem like it did. And the other thing is when it did happen, there was an extended warranty program specifically for that. I had of all the 360s that I had, which was 2, I only had Red Ring of Death happen once, and it was like 3 years after the console was launched, and they replaced it for free because it was the Red Ring of Death. So I don't really see that as much of a problem. You know what I mean?
I, in that era, went through 4 Xbox 360s with Red Rings of Death. I went through 4 PS3s because they kept dying.
The PlayStation, what's funny is like a lot of people don't really talk about how much the PlayStation had the same problem.
They did. So I'm not on the originals by a long shot. Now I was actually just talking to my dad about the re-release date, not on purpose, but we were talking about stuff. He's like, "Do you remember when roofers came, we did our roof, and they put like a holy tarp, and it rained, and water was coming down our light in our dining room?" I go, "Yeah." It's like, "Do you know when that was?" I go, "November 19th, 2000." And because I was getting up at 3 a.m. to go sit in Best Buy's line to get a Wii. I was getting up to do that, and all of a sudden there's rain inside our house. So on release date, so I did not get to go to do that. So it's going to live down in infamy for me. The Wii was good. I mean, I think even my parents owned a Wii. There's probably and everyone I knew had a Wii. Even my in-laws. So that's a testament to it. That being said, I don't like motion controls a whole lot. They were great games on it. I enjoyed the new Super Mario Brothers on there. The Paper Mario was okay, but 360, I played the crap out of it.
Halo 3 launched on 360, right? Yeah. So I mean, like already there, like Halo as a game in general was is a fucking classic. Like that's to a point early in the console wars. Like that was a tipping point. Like people bought Xboxes because of Halo.
I started my Rock Band career with Rock Band in the 360.
Yep.
And so the way I determined what system I was getting for what game was if I wanted graphics and power and playability, I went PlayStation 3. If I need something that needed a lot of hard drive space, I went 360.
Yeah.
So like Rock Band, huge amounts of space required for it. Because you were able to upgrade the hard drive relatively easy in the 360. Because they were external drives. So I'm going 360 as well.
Yeah, Sandra talking about the Halo Special Edition console. I remember that thing was. I worked at Best Buy at the time, so I remember the launch for all those consoles.
Yeah,
and that's where I kind of have like my opinion on all this is skewed because I worked in a retail store and I could play all 3 of them anytime I wanted, or at least anytime I wanted when I was on my break. But the 360 like it ultimately ended up being what I wanted just because you play the demos on all of them, and it's like, no, that this is where I go. My brother my brother ended up buying a PlayStation 3. And so any PlayStation 3 games I wanted to play, I could buy and just play on his PlayStation 3. Because me and my brother lived together at the time. So
yeah.
I got to dip real quick. Not
me as well.
entirely. I just got to go. The mailman is at my door with a package. I will be 1 second.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah.
So do we have time for one more, or did you want to?
Yeah. Well, so yeah, House of the Dead for sure. House of the Dead though was also on the Dreamcast. The way to play it.
Yeah.
No, like I said, for me, the 360 was honestly the last Xbox system I played.
Okay.
Heavily.
And like I said, what's crazy is that last software update they did for 360 has been the operating system since.
Yeah. For better or worse.
Yeah, but I mean, like they've improved on the operating system, of course. Like, it's cleaner and they run smoother and everything like that. But for the most part, unlike PlayStation, where even mid console upgrades, they changed the operating system completely. Like PlayStation has just had upgraded firmware and upgrades in the operating system.
Well, because PlayStation's Linux and in 360, Xbox is Microsoft.
Yeah,
that's why Microsoft does the same thing all the time. But no, 360 is moving forward. But like I said, it's I have fixed Red Ring of Death, not just like legit taking it apart, dismantling it, and fixing it.
That was a fan problem, wasn't it?
It was overheating. So what happened was it overheat, thermal paste would run off, so that you weren't having a good connection to the heatsink.
Right. That's what I was saying. I remember it was a heating issue, it was a fan issue, and it's what happens when you use cheap thermal paste.
Exactly. And I said the Wii is getting better with the remakes we get for the Switch, because then I don't have to use stupid motion controls for everything.
Yeah.
Because I love Zelda, I hated Twilight Princess, and I hated Skyward Sword for the Wii U because of the motion controls.
Yeah, I do like that the Switch has the option to turn motion controls off
Sometimes.
Well, I mean, for most of the games that I play, I mean, like unless you're playing like Mario Party, where certain things require you to use the motion controls, but like in that case, that's fine. Like I like that if I want to go play Mario Kart, I can turn that stupid ass motion control thing off.
Correct.
And actually play it the way that I played it as a kid. Like most games where it matters, you can turn that off. So
the solder ball connections, I never saw that happen. It's literally just replacing and getting a new heat sink and reapplying the thermal paste is all that you have to do.
Yeah, I also didn't experience the solder ball connection cracking. Like the only time that I ever ran into any issues was with heat sinks.
Thermal paste is a much lower melting point than solder.
Yeah.
All right. So the last one then for tonight. You ready?
Yep.
This is gonna be a difficult one because most people probably don't care for either one. The Atari 2600 versus the Commodore 64.
Oh shit.
The pinnacle.
I'm gonna say
yes.
Atari 2600. That was the first console I ever had.
I think
River Raid is the shit.
I think I am going to make a call right now that a lot of people are going to vote for the Atari 2600. The Commodore 64 was dope.
It has thousands of games. That was my first computer, was a Commodore 64.
Yeah.
And that's all I had for growing up. My parents didn't like video game systems, but we had a Commodore. And just all the games you're able to play on it was just outstanding.
It had everything. Like, they ported everything for the Commodore 64. And the Commodore 64, it at least among consoles, it caused problems for Atari, dude. Like, it really caused problems. Like that was like the first actual console war.
Yeah, if it's being a PC, but you had floppy disks you can play with the Commodore 64. You had cartridges you can play with the Commodore 64. You had expandable RAM. You had a modem. You're able to go online with the Commodore 64.
I played fucking Oregon Trail on the fucking Commodore 64,
and you were able to play cassette tape games on it.
Yep.
And you were able to play Nintendo games before the NES on that as well that were better than the graphics on the 2600?
The Japanese version of Super Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember when the Japanese version of Super Mario hit the US and people freaked out, and you could play it on the Commodore 64.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look at quintessential PCs for gaming, Commodore is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger around the world than Atari ever was.
Yeah, and I mean, but I mean, going to the Atari 2600, the Atari 2600 is that's a kind of where they perfected the Atari.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like these cartridges right here.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the one that everybody remembers. If you think back and you think Atari, the Atari 2600 is the one that, you know, when you think of the Atari, it's the 2600.
Oh, because it had wood paneling.
Yeah. I mean, even Lego, like it's obviously not here, but I mean, like the Lego build that I did a while back of the Atari was a 2600.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, again, for everybody out there that didn't get a chance to see it, the Atari 2600 Lego set, if you pull the front of the console off, it flips up and it's the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I thought that was like the coolest Easter egg, is that they put the commercial from Atari inside of the Atari.
And can't forget
That's
that.
fucking rad.
Yeah, you can't forget that in the 80s, one of the Atari spokespeople was Jack Black.
Right. That's right.
Oh,
Jack Black goes back. A lot of people don't realize how far back Jack Black goes.
Mm-hmm. I love the Atari 2600, you know, but Commodore has the place in my heart. That's all I had growing up for 11 years was to play that. So I'm going Commodore 64 just because I have so much memories. And the fact that I'm able to do an SD card reader to it now and have the entire library off an SD card, that's probably the PC that I've modded the most, to be able to do most with.
That's funny that you. So okay, hold on. For an SD card reader, like, is it like a floppy reader that has an SD card reader in it?
No, it is. It's called SD2 IEC. So off on the port on the back that you would connect your floppy disk to, it's a reader that you put an SD card into it, and it'll just read it as a floppy. So
it basically goes right into the IO on that.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yep, and then you have the RAM expander that you can plug in as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have it. I actually made one for Salem as well.
So now I need you to put the Atari version of Halo on the Commodore 64 and see how that runs it.
Oh, that might. I have a program that can convert it. I don't know how well it will do.
Okay.
So
Commodore 64 granted good luck getting a majority of the games to function.
Whoa. Load $8,1. All right.
He still remembers the code for it.
That was my first introduction to the worst Ghostbusters game ever made.
This is how you know this man works in IT. Is he's remembering fucking C+ code from 1983.
Basic. That's basic. Yeah. And remember, the Commodore 128 had the 64 mode button too. So
yeah. Jesus. Where are we at with this, man?
What'd you vote for?
God, that's hard for me to choose, man. Because I mean, like I said, the 2600 is something that is near and dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that had a Commodore 64. I didn't have one myself.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was like dope. It's the same friend that had a fucking ColecoVision. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a Coleco, he had a fucking Commodore 64. He was the one that had the Super Nintendo. And he lived 2 doors down from me, so go and hang out with him. I remember we fucking played Clay Fighters to the fucking end, bro. On the fucking 64.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So what are you going for?
Fuck. I think I go with the Atari, man. I go with the Atari because we had an Atari.
Mm-hmm.
and I have a lot more memories with the Atari. Same thing like where I had memories with the NES. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I lean NES because of that, but I mean, I think I'm leaning Atari 2600 on this.
Yeah, I fear it's 2600 for sure. But yes, say long. I do have a run book of every game and the run commands for it too for Commodore 64. It's in a binder.
I don't have a soundbite for what I want to say right now. No. You know, it's funny. I have the soundbite for it. I just don't have it on the board. I wonder if that's something I need to add. Hold on.
It is. Okay, so that's where we're at for the bracket, but kind of give a rundown of what we're looking at next time for the video game systems. We will have the Xbox One versus the Neo Geo, the Sega Saturn versus the OG Xbox, Dreamcast versus the Apple II. Because if you want to talk about classic games of Oregon Trail, Apple II.
The Apple II.
Yeah.
Just the Apple II, not the Apple IIe? Or are we counting the Apple
II? All Apple II, yeah.
So every model of the Apple II.
Yeah. Super Nintendo versus the Jaguar. The TurboGrafx 16 versus PC/Steam.
Ooh.
The Nintendo Switch versus the fantastic Philips CDI.
Oh my God, worst fucking console ever. Excuse me.
Exactly.
Princess.
The 3DO.
I told you I had it.
Versus the Sega Genesis. And then the Amiga 32 for all our European listeners.
The Amiga. Oh my God. That was a good one though.
Versus the PS3.
Oh God. PS3 all the way. The Amiga doesn't even stand a fucking chance, bro.
You know how hard I had to make it work in America? First off, their hertz are different on their TV. In Europe, the plugs are different. I had to do a lot of finagling to make that work here in America.
That's funny.
I said, anyone that knows that my retro Elko, I take my retro gaming very seriously. All right. Well, that's what we'll be at then for next time.
All right. Like I said.
I know.
I've got it on the soundboard now, though. So
dilly.
All right. Well, that is it from us. I have the Zelda cartoon on DVD. You should.
Hell yeah, I do too, along with Mega Man. Yeah.
Oh, the Mega Man cartoon one's fucking classic. That was well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from us. So before we let everybody go, one more time here. Hey, Mike, go ahead and give everybody your pluggable, sir. That way everybody knows where they can find you, all the different campaigns you got going on here.
Alrighty. Right now on itch.io, Game Jolt, forgot to say that last time, you can get the demo for the Outskirts Clown Man, and through each one you can find the Kickstarter. It's only $500, but I've added tiers to where I'm going to try to get to make like hard copies, like DVD ROMs, like old school PC games. I'm going to try to make some hard copies of it on the Kickstarter. You can see all the info there. And aside from that game, you can get the Complete Rabbit Man on Amazon and Lulu.com, and the Apathetic Mouse Man on Amazon.com.
Awesome. Graveyard. Go ahead and give everybody. Oh my God.
What?
Look at that keyboard, man. That just brings back all the memories right there. Look at the keyboard.
By the way, this is actually the Maxi. The reproduction with a working keyboard.
It's got fucking and it's got a fucking HDMI on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
It's just right there. Yes, I am Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night, Mostly Podcast.
Mostly
Pod.
at night. Mostly.
Follow us on all social media at Pod Out at Night. Make sure to check out Conversations in the Void every Wednesday. Yeah, we had a great guest last night from Goth Chick News, and then she wrote an article about us for Goth Chick News. It's Inception at its finest.
I saw that, and we all got like super excited about it.
Yeah, I met her at Days of the Dead in November, and since from Days of the Dead, this is how far we were booked out on that show to get someone now on it.
I know.
So check it out, and then 2 more weeks of gaming during the work day. I am doing some Mario Maker 2 streaming just because I suck at the game and trying to get better, in hopes that Mario Maker 3 will come out for the Switch 2, and I'll continue to stream that. I'm going to get back into System Shock because I realized when I was playing it Monday night, this is an old game. It doesn't autosave. I found that out the hard way.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
OG.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be starting a Nintendo 64 Mania as well. Well, I'll be playing through every Nintendo 64 game from release date order. Maybe not being all. Yeah. I'm starting that.
Yeah, no, that's genius.
Because unfortunately, in 4 days, the Analog 3 was supposed to be out to play it all in HD. But I have the Poly Mega. I can do that. Begin with right now with save states and all that stuff. So I'm excited for that. So check us out. Check out the Twitch at Graveyard Pod Out at Night, where I'm playing all sorts of games. Anything that you guys can think of, I will play.
Awesome, man. Can I get that in 8-inch floppies?
Yes.
I know, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am, your boy Young Phil, Distance Nerding. Now, of course, all of the places, if you want to reach out to us, you want to tell us how much, everything you want to talk to us about. We're on all the social media places, on the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, still never calling it X. We're still there for some reason. I don't know why. Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, Blue Sky. That's where we're doing most of our stuff. MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and Mandels, the beard, Jamez's glasses, sitting on a table judging you for not buying more merch and getting all of the Distance Nerding shirts that we have available.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, everything Shadu will do for money, which there's not much that he will not do for said cash. So get that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you would like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us completely and spit us out in front of at the feet of a man who looks like comic book guy from The Simpsons, complaining about why the Atari 2600 is not better than the Commodore 64. Worst console ever. You can send us an email at distinernerding@aol.com and we will read it live on air. Since the DeLongs are in the chat, just to let everybody know, I'm just going to say it right now. Bruce, go to sleep. It's time to go to bed. It's 8:15. Go to sleep, sir. But outside of that, guys, that is 8:15 for us on the West Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 10:15 for you in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's like 9 something here.
Exactly.
Oh.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. It is now time for the dance party. So we will see everybody later. Guys, as always, thanks and keep nerding together. Party time. Atari!
Including a brand new Atari 7800 game.
Brand new.
Yeah, brand new.
Well, that's brand new.
Yeah. Oh, this one.
Nerding.
2024.
That's pretty cool.
How many clones does that ship hold?
It holds at least 5-6 people, including Omega.
But they're clones, so are they really people?
It's true. Omega. This is the only thing I have to dance on screen.
Yeah, this was just like something I found on my desk.
Normally,
This is the shit I have laying around on me at all times.
I'm in a hotel. We'll see everybody on next week.
Bye.
Bye.